These are the minerals which have exhausted completely from these mines. In Andhra Pradesh, so many mines are now dead. In Goa, Sakorda mine is dead. Gujarat, Aditya mine is dead. Jharkhand, Dhadu, Kahalgaon, Manduapat, Rajpar. There is no fire clay, there is no bauxite, there is no mica, there is no iron ore there. All these mines are exhausted of these minerals. This is from the Ministry of Natural Resources, Government of India. And you know how much to trust government data. If they're showing so many mines, I'm sure it is 10 times this. Unfortunate but true. Second, so resource distribution is again a huge problem. Why is that? Because in the economy, there is no control on use of a resource. You can extract iron ore and use it to make faster cars, or use it to make hospital beds for villages. You can draw water from underground sources and use it to irrigate your farm, or you can use it to make cola and beer. There is no control on any resource use in the economy, right? Energy. You can use electricity for survival, for livelihoods, or you can use it for comfort, like air conditioners, or you can use it for entertainment, like IPL and Formula One racing. There is no control. As a society turns more affluent, as we start earning more and more money, the goods which use lesser resources are stopped and resource intensive goods are started making. Ask your parents. They would probably know only of one biscuit in their childhood. Today, we have 200 different biscuits. Yeah. Each one of these biscuits is using wheat. Each one of these biscuits is using fossil fuel to heat the biscuits. Each one of these biscuits is using plastic. Each one of these biscuits is polluting the environment after the biscuit is eaten. When I was in school and college, we had this as a luxury. Today, nobody will make these kind of things. Nobody will make a Luna. Nobody will make a M50 or M80. Everybody will move towards making this. When I was in school, of course, in Pune, we did not have too much. But in many other cities, you had the cycle rickshaw. But today, I will never travel in a cycle rickshaw. I want this, right? So what I want to show is, as the society becomes more affluent, resource intensive goods are made more and more. What do you think is the reason? What do you think is the reason?
Habit of luxury.
Increasing purchasing power.
Sohini, I didn't hear you.
There is no
I said
enlightenment of the mere human being.
1 minute.
increasing purchasing power.
Increasing purchasing power. Yes. Yes, Dr. Narayan, you were saying something?
Actually, at present condition, there is no real ultimate goal with a human being's life. Actually,
That is okay.
that is
Dr.
no.
Dr. Narayan, you're talking at a philosophical level. I appreciate that. You're absolutely right. But I'm saying at the grassroots level, my question is very simple. Why does industry start making produce which is more resource intensive as a society gets affluent? The reason is very simple. It is not profitable to serve the poor. This bike will be much more profitable than this bike. This biscuit you can sell for 100 rupees. This biscuit you can't sell for 100 rupees. The cab, you're going to pay 30 rupees per kilometer. This fellow, you'll pay for 2 rupees per kilometer, right? So as affluence increases in the society, industries go on to serve the rich more and more, and therefore there is an inequitable distribution of resources. Look at the energy use in the economy. When the industrial revolution happened, most of the electricity which was used was for livelihood, for for work, for offices and everything. A small amount was used for comfort and convenience, and very small amount for entertainment. What do you think would be the scenario today if you plot the same graph, right? The growth in electricity used for livelihoods will be a straight line. Why will it be a straight line? Because it will grow as per the population. The growth in comfort and convenience will be a hockey stick curve. Why will be a hockey stick curve? Because affluence is growing in the society. And as affluence is growing, the use for entertainment also increases. So now try to superimpose carbon emissions on this. What are we emitting greenhouse gases for? For our livelihoods? No, for our comfort and convenience and for our entertainment, right? We want more IPLs, we want more Formula One racing, we want PlayStation Pros, we want Xboxes, we want television which is as big as a wall. We want all of that. We want multiplexes where you can ride in an elevator from the parking to the top floor and spend in a nice cool atmosphere. It's all entertainment and livelihood and comfort. Another very clear example of resource distribution, let me give you, and this is something which I have done myself, a study from published sources. This is a can of cola, which many of you would have had the privilege of drinking. It's a 330 ml can of cola. What do you think is the water consumption of this can? 330 ml of cola. I'm not taking any names. How many liters of water?
At least 100 liter.
100 liters. Anybody else? Okay, let's see. I've done an analysis.
Less of water, more of sugar.
Yeah, less of water, more of sugar. Yeah, okay. The direct water consumption, I have taken this from a very, very popular cola company. I'm sure you have realized which cola company I'm talking about. And I have went on to their published website reports. In one water efficiency report, they say 1 liter cola, we need 2.03 liters of direct water. This 330 ml can uses 609 ml of direct water because 1 liter requires 2.03. If you turn the cola can and see how much sugar it contains 33 grams of sugar. Ministry of Agriculture and the Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations says that in India, around 1,500 liters of water are used per kg of sugar. So for 33 grams of sugar, there are 50 liters of water. This can has got 14 grams of aluminum. From the National Aluminum Company annual report, I saw that 88 liters per kg of aluminum, which means 1.2 liters of water in the form of aluminum. There are many other components in this which I could not figure out the water footprint. I just added them and it gave me 52 liters water footprint for a 330 ml can. Last year, 2019, do you know how many liters of cola this famous company sold in India? 1.2 billion liters. So multiply 1.2 by 52. That much water has gone into cola making. That's not the end of the story. This was the water footprint. Now let's see the carbon footprint of this cola. The aluminum is mined in Angul and Damanjodi in Odisha. National Aluminum Company mines. From there, the ingots go to Hisar, to a company which in Haryana for processing. The cans are produced in Aurangabad, which is in Maharashtra. So from Hisar, the aluminum foil moves to Aurangabad. The ink, the red ink comes from Vapi. There's a German company there in Vapi, which makes this ink for can printing. The cola powder comes from USA. Now you know which company I'm talking about. The sugar comes from Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, wherever. The water for the sugarcane comes from the dams around that. Packaging is made in Pune, in Maharashtra, in one place. The electricity comes from the grid, so we really don't know. And it is sold everywhere. What do you imagine is the carbon footprint of this can of cola? So what I'm trying to show is the resource distribution gets skewed. Now all these resources are going into making a product which is only going to be bought by some sections of the society. Nobody in poor villages in India can afford a 35 rupee can of cola. And all the resources, all the trail of resource depletion, all the pollution is being directed towards the person who can afford this. There is no control in the economy for resource distribution. That's the problem. We don't see the water footprint. We don't see the carbon footprint. And we easily pick up a 2-liter cola bottle from D-Mart. 2-liter cola bottle will have 354 liters of water. Right now, go and open your refrigerator. There will be as much water footprint as in a swimming pool. Externalized cost, the third failure of the market. Externalized cost is where manufacturers do not pay, but it is paid by taxpayers' money or citizens' health. You probably know of this plastic island in the Pacific, right? There is no control. None of the manufacturers pay for the air pollution. None of the manufacturers pay for the plastic pollution. None of the manufacturers pay for any of this. It is paid by you and me, by our health. You know which is one of the fastest growing industrial sectors in India today? Take a guess.
Health, sir.
Healthcare, absolutely spot on. Now, there are IPOs lined up of large hospitals. Inequality. Let's go back to the economic engine. I told you that the blue lines are the flow of money. So for the GDP to increase, the flow of blue lines must increase very fast. Correct? Agreed? In which half? If you divide the screen into the top section and the bottom section, which section do you think the flow of money will be faster?
Upper section.
Upper section? In the lower section? Not in the lower section?
The service sector will get more.
No, obviously no. What is the reason? Do your salaries grow every year by 20%, 30%, 40%? Can turnovers of companies grow by 20%, 30%, 40%? Yes, they can. So money can flow more from this section to this section, not from this section to this section. And therefore, when the economy does well, it is the industries which are doing well, not your salaries which are getting fatter. Right? That doesn't matter. What matters is how much money is flowing from here to here. That is the differentiator. There are and what does it mean when I say that industries are making more money? Handful of investors are making more money. Look at this. This is from the NCAER CMCR report of 2020. There are 16 million households in India, okay, which are rich, which are above 17 lakhs. 16 million population, 3 million households. 31 million households which are between 3.4 to 17 lakh. 71 million households which are between 1.5 to 3.5, and 135 million households which are below 1.5 lakh. Where do you think the industry owners are? Here?
Peak.
Here. The unicorns and the billionaires which we read about today, they're all located here. Where do you think the farmers are of India? Here? They'll be here. Where do you think school teachers are? Where do you think rickshawalas are? Where do you think paper walas are? Where do you think raddi walas are? Yeah, the bulk of society is here, not here. Even if the GDP has been increasing continuously over the last 20 years, the number of people in the poor, in the deprived, has always increased. Look at the global wealth pyramid. This I've taken from the Credit Suisse report. Same case. I want to show you some very interesting. It's taken from my book. The 2015 revenues. Walmart's revenue was $486 billion, ExxonMobil $269 billion, so on and so forth. I have kept half the screen empty, which means something is shocking is going to come here. Corporations are larger than countries. The most poor country has a per capita GDP of $286. The richest country has a per capita of $116. What is the difference like? That is inequality in society. The economic engine has never been able to reduce the inequality within society. Unemployment. You have probably heard that there has been a huge growth in the Indian economy in the last decade, but the employment has not grown. What do you think is the reason?
Less demand of human resources.
Why? You're right.
Automation, increasing automation
Technology.
reduces the need for human labor.
Sohini Sen Gupta has got it absolutely spot on, right? Ram, if you owned a business, would you like to hire an accountant or would you buy Tally software?
Obviously, Tally software.
So which means you have helped push one job out of the economy, right? Everybody wants automation. We want a machine. We don't want labor. Labor can't work for more than 8 hours. They make mistakes. They fall sick. They make a strike. They have a labor union. Machines don't do that, right? Efficiency, repeatability, productivity of machines is far superior. Everywhere, accounting, look at an ATM, and one ATM replaces an entire branch. Look at the security system. Today, the fast tags, we still have people there. But within 1 year, you won't see a single person on the toll nakas. The postman almost no longer in existence. Tailors, gaye, bus conductors, all gone. Jobs in dire straits. Look at the growth in the economy, the GDP growth, and the growth in the jobs. Look at this. This I've taken from the Hindu. Yeah. This is what is called a jobless growth. The economic engine has not been able to solve the problem of jobless growth. Huge market failure. And finally, the allocation problem. Like I said, the government has collected a lot of money. How do you spend it? Do you spend it on buying more weapons? Or do you spend it on improving Gram Panchayat schools? Do you spend it on giving more farm subsidies? Or do you spend it on building SEZ? Airports are ST-stand. Look at the last 10 years. Each one of your towns and cities, the airports have improved dramatically. You go to an ST depot, state transport bus stand. Is there a decent toilet for ladies and gents? Is there a decent seating arrangement? Which form of transport do you think Indians use more? Airlines or state transport buses?
State transport.
State transport buses. Isn't it logical to think that the government should first spend more money on improving the state transport buses?
Obviously, sir.
Yeah. And no, they have not done that. From the airports where I park my car to where I have to collect the boarding pass, I can go on an escalator. I have an elevator to lift. In the entire rural India, there are pregnant women who are moving in state transport buses carrying a lot of luggage. They have to walk, climb the stairs. They have to evade all the nonsense, and they do not have a decent place to sit. They do not have a decent toilet. They can't tend to their children. There are senior citizens, old people who are using the state transport, and the government is not even thinking about that. Doesn't sustainable development need to cover all of this? Are we doing something wrong by being fixated about the way we have structured the economic engine for the economic growth? Are we doing something wrong by measuring only the GDP? What is the GDP? I told you what is the GDP. It is sum of all transactions in the society, and GDP grows. But then it also includes accidents. It also includes war, terrorism, COVID, AIDS, swine flu. All of that are helping to grow the GDP. What does that mean? It excludes all the costs. Excludes the cost of depletion of resources, excludes the cost of pollution, excludes the cost of displacement of people, excludes the cost of health, which you and I are paying through our own savings, which means the government should give us a net domestic product, not gross domestic product. Gross domestic product is balance sheet with one side missing. What is the point in looking at a gross domestic product? Any accountant will tell you this is such a stupid way to measure economic growth. You don't have one entire side, no expenditure, only income. What is the point? We just have 2 minutes left, so very quickly, I don't think we'll finish this, okay, because there are just 2 minutes left. So I just this is the commonly accepted definition of sustainable development that meets the need of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. All the governments use this definition. I think this is one of the most stupid definitions. What about butterflies? What about tigers? What about sharks? What about the mountains? What about the rivers? Nobody considers that. Needs. What is a need? Is a PlayStation Pro a need? Ignores the ecological productivity of the planet, the life-sustaining capacity of the land. And this definition can hardly be operationalized. If you give this definition to the government of India, said, "ये करो कल से," government बोलेगा क्या करूं? कुछ समझ में नहीं आता है definition में क्या करूं. I just know that meeting the needs of the present without लेकिन करूं क्या वो बोलो. But this is a definition of sustainable development which we have. So my definition of sustainable development is that we have to challenge the dominant paradigms, and we have to break down the definition on what should be sustained and what should be developed. What must be developed is social institutions, education, healthcare, inequality. There are so many things which need development today. What must be sustained? Natural systems. We have to sustain the natural ecosystem, the rivers, the oceans, the mountains, the biodiversity, the species, the ecological productivity. We have to sustain the food systems for a growing population. We have to sustain the social system that everything is built upon. And that will tell us what we need in sustainable development. But what is influencing this? What influences sustainable development? The population, the way the economy is structured, government policies, technological progress, and most importantly, our lifestyle. If we demand more SUVs, the market will produce more SUVs. If we demand more colas, the market will produce more colas. That's the way we have structured the economy. And if we are not able to change that, then we will end up in a mess. We will never get sustainable development. So my definition of sustainable development: improve the quality of life, non-material quality of life. It doesn't matter if I have a microwave and you don't have a microwave. It doesn't matter if I have one car and you have 3 cars. It doesn't matter if you have a refrigerator and I don't. It's the non-material quality of life which create equitable material conditions. Every person in rural India must have access to a good road, to good education, to good schools, to good transport, public transport, as much as I need it in Pune and Mumbai. Frugal use of natural resources, minimizing waste generation for the future. If I don't use natural resources frugally, my grandchildren will be left with nothing. I'm sure about that. And finally, maintain Earth's capacity to sustain life. If I am not able to do that, I am going to leave a poorer planet for my children and my grandchildren. Yeah, so I'll stop